All right, Larry Krueger here at Levi's Stadium on a Thursday with a 49er update as we jump into 2025 covering the 49ers, and we're down here on the grind. Hopefully you guys are having a great, had a great holiday and a great new year, and welcome to 2025. And thanks for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube, which is brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out, and they do run out. Go get the brisket chili. It's all wonderful. Say hi to Damon and Mary. Tell them the Krug sent you. And we're also brought to you by Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles. They're at 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove, California, along the Monterey Peninsula. My good friend Anthony Catania is at 831-521-5264. And last but certainly not least, Mancini Sleep World is a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. They offer a 120-night guarantee with a range of brands and price points. They've got a bed for you. I'm loving my Mancini's bed. All you got to do is click the link below and go to sleepworld.com, find a bed that works for you. Whether you shop online or visiting in the store, use that code at the checkout, Krug10, and you'll get 10% off. Got to use Krug10 or you won't get 10% off. That's in-store or online at sleepworld.com. That's Krug10, K-R-U-E-G 10, and you'll get 10% off at any Mancini store or online at their website, sleepworld.com. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Niners. Down here on a Thursday, getting ready to take off at the end of the week to jump to Arizona for the final game of the regular season, sadly, for the 49ers. Now, today, George Kittle was out at practice. He's got the ankle and the hamstring, but he was out there. Isaac Yiadom, who's got a pelvis injury, he was also out there practicing. The guys who remained out today were Robert Beal, Nick Bosa, Spencer Burford, Demetrius Flannigan-Fowles, Leonard Floyd, Diamador Lenoir, Brock Purdy, and Deebo Samuel. Those were the guys who did not practice today down here in Santa Clara. The Pro Bowl rosters were announced today. Last year, the Niners had 9 Pro Bowlers. This year, they had 4. It's amazing what 1 year and a bunch of injuries will do to your core of Pro Bowl talent. So 9 Pro Bowlers last year, 4 this year. The 4 were Kyle Juszczyk. Does he even count? He's like the only fullback in the league. That's not true, but he's one of only very few. George Kittle, Nick Bosa, and Fred Warner. So there you go. Bosa, Warner, Kittle, and Juszczyk are your Pro Bowlers. Your Pro Bowl alternates, Brock Purdy. For those who said, Brock Purdy's horrible. Brock Purdy. He's a Pro Bowl alternate. So whatever that's worth. Leonard Floyd, Demo Lenoir, and Trent Williams. And you could have made an argument that Diamador Lenoir should have been recognized as a Pro Bowl starter. He got snubbed. He didn't allow a single touchdown all year. When targeted, he gave up a quarterback rating of 72.6. It's pretty damn good. But this is what happens. You probably get more Pro Bowlers than you deserve when you win, and you get less Pro Bowlers than you deserve when you lose. The Ravens, by the way, led the way. They had 9 Pro Bowlers, but only 4 this year for the 49ers. And before you jump up and down and be like, oh my God, Lenoir was snubbed and oh, the world is ending. One, he's not the first guy to get snubbed. He's not the last guy to get snubbed. It ain't that big a deal. It's easy for me to say because I don't have any bonuses tied to it. But Patrick Mahomes didn't make the Pro Bowl. If you want to say you got snubbed, fine, get in line behind him. 68% completion percentage, 26 touchdowns, 11 picks. Kansas City's 15-1. He didn't make the Pro Bowl. By the way, 49ers who have started every game this season so far, there are 6 of them. Jake Brendel, Malik Collins, Leonard Floyd, Colton McKivitz, Dom Pooney, and Fred Warner. Those guys, I think you got to tip your cap to those guys just for the ability to play every game. This game coming up Sunday, can the Niners stop Arizona's run? The Niners are 19th in the league against the run. Arizona is the 7th best rushing offense in the game. To me, that's where this game is decided. We're going to get into it more on Niners Nightly tonight on KNBR, but Tim Ryan said today on KNBR that Brock Purdy, he's not sure that the Niners have to get this contract done with Brock Purdy right away. So we'll get into that tonight, and we'll take your phone calls tonight at 808 KNBR. Should the Niners put off the Brock Purdy contract talks until next year? They say they're going to address it this year, but seeing how the team's backslid, all the needs they have, he's backslid a little bit. Does he want to take lesser money, or does he want to gamble on himself and go for broke? I think that's going to be something interesting to watch in the days ahead. Also tonight on Niners Nightly, I'm going to give you the 5 moves that the Niners made, bad moves that they made, that led them to where they're at right now. 5 moves that they've made that have led them to where they're at. So we'll talk about that tonight on KMBR. One of the things that to me is interesting is that in the last 8 games, the 49ers only have 2 takeaways. They've got an Evan Anderson fumble recovery against the Bears in Week 14, and they've got the Isaac Yiadom interception in Week 11 against Seattle. No takeaways against Detroit, none against Miami, none against the Rams, none against Green Bay, none against Buffalo, none against Tampa. So the Niners are just not taking it away. It's going to be really interesting. Can the Niners take away Trey McBride this week? He's got 104 receptions. It's going to be really interesting to see if they can. To me, one of the major problems with the 49ers is they're not getting a lot of their defensive line. Their defensive line used to be the best in the league. It's regressed significantly. Jordan Elliott, Javon Hargrave, Givens, only Evan Anderson, I think, is back next year out of this group. On that note, Matt Mayoko said that he thinks the Niners may wind up releasing Javon Hargrave. I heard Greg Papa talking about that earlier today. And we're about to go talk a little football here with Nick Sorensen, so we'll cut this right here. But the video brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Check them out. They're in Corte Madera. They're in Emeryville. They're open 7 days a week. We got a lot to talk about tonight on KMBR for sure. Join me at 6 p.m. on The Sports Leader, and we'll break it all down, and we'll talk a little Niners tonight on The Sports Leader. Interesting day down here. Niners getting ready to play. It's going on Sunday against the Cardinals. Josh Dobbs will be the starter at quarterback for the 49ers. We know that for sure. Dobbs will draw the start. Most likely Brandon Allen plays off the bench, but I think they're probably going to let Dobbs play the entire game. I asked Kyle Shanahan about Tanner Mordecai, about the potential for Mordecai playing in this game. He said no, he's not going to play unless there's an injury. So odds are there's not going to be an injury, and you can expect Tanner Mordecai to not play in this game. But that does it on the rundown here in Santa Clara on a Thursday. 49ers, I'll say this, man. Standing out there on the practice field, watching Chris Kasarik put his defensive linemen through the paces, they didn't take any plays off. And one other note, the Niners have signed Tarron Jackson away from the Eagles to their practice squad. I think this is a good pickup, actually. Tarron Jackson played at Coastal Carolina. He had 25 sacks in college. This guy's a big-time rusher. I'm eager to see what he looks like in this 49er defense. Hopefully we'll see him this week against the Cardinals. But that was an interesting addition as well. Tarron Jackson, the newest 49er. And that does it from down here in Santa Clara. Thanks for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.